eat it, they'll be like, say what? It's vegan? So yeah. Hey y'all, it's your girl Chef Joya, and welcome back to my channel. Say what is vegan? First thing you're gonna do is go ahead and click that subscribe button so you can stay tuned for the best vegan recipes there is. Now, I've done this recipe numerous of times. You'll see shorts, you'll see reels, but you ain't never seen me do it on my YouTube channel. And it's in my new cookbook, Baby It's Just Vegan, where you can get that in the description box below. And YouTube has an exclusive discount where it's just for you all. So make sure you cop the cookbook for the full directions. But we're getting ready to get into my po' boy sandwich. So cue the music, DJ. Play back that ass. Alright, let's get to this Nola recipe. Alright guys, so we're gonna go ahead and get into this recipe. And I always feel like it's so good to watch me do this live because you get to see what may or may not happen. In my cookbook, I tell you to use the oyster mushrooms because you're going to use my chicken wing recipe for that. However, I went to the store today and they didn't have any oyster mushrooms, and I went to a couple stores, they were out. So I did find the trumpet mushrooms, and so we're going to use that instead. So that's one thing I think is great, so you can see how you can use different types of mushrooms or different products. If you may not have one thing, it doesn't mean all is lost. You can still make this recipe using other types of mushrooms, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slice them this way. All right, so I'm going to slice them lengthwise first. Then I'm going to do nice little chunks because, you know, when you have like a po' boy sandwich, there's nice little chunks of meat in there. And also I'm slicing it thinly because trumpet mushrooms could get kind of gummy. It has a funny texture, honestly. And I usually like to use my trumpet mushrooms really when I'm making like conch fritters, or I'm making something that's gonna need that like rubbery like texture. All right, so I'm gonna get my nice little chunks in there. I guess I can use this little piece too. Now, another cool tip for using these trumpet mushrooms is marinating them. Marinating them tends to soften them up and allows it a lot more flavor to get into them. But we don't have time for that right now, so we're gonna do the quick route. So I'm gonna take my golden chick seasoning, and I'm going to add a little bit of my golden chick, a little bit of my vegan Worcestershire sauce. In my flour bowl, I have my all-purpose flour mixed in with some cornstarch and seasoned with my golden chick seasoning. Now, if you want to add a little bit of paprika into it for color, by all means, you can go ahead and do so. Or if you want to just keep it the color that it is, that's fine as well. All right? It's all about your preference. So next, I'm going to go ahead and add my dry flour over here. Now, this is something that I just do live. In my cookbook, I teach you how to separate your batters, but you know, on my Say What Is Vegan channel, we do it how I really do it in the kitchen. All right, this is how I get down for real in the kitchen. I'm gonna add a little bit more. All right, I'm gonna get this nice and coated in my dry mixture, my seasoned dried mixture. Then we're going to make our wet batter. All right. So we're going to take some unsweetened plant milk. And I'm using oat milk right here, but you can use almond milk. You can use cashew milk. I would not say use soy milk, or you can even use club soda, okay? But we're going to get this a nice little mix around. And you want it about the consistency of waffle batter. All right. And then I'm also going to add a little bit of lemon juice in here just to curdle it so it can be like buttermilk. Or if you don't have that, you can also use some apple cider vinegar. All right, it's still a little bit too thick, so we're going to thin this out with a little bit more milk. And make sure your milk is very cold, okay? So now I'm going to go ahead and remove my whisk. And then I'm going to take my mushrooms that's in my dry batter. I'm going to shake it off just a little bit. And then I'm going to add it to my wet batter. So I'm going to get all my pieces in here. Now, you can do this when you have like the little 2 mushrooms that I have now. If you're working with a big batch, don't try to do it this way. Do it how I have it in my cookbook because you'll create an entire mess, okay? So, our little 2 little mushrooms. So, while I have this coated in my wet batter, I'm going to go ahead and get some of that smoked paprika in here because we want some of that color in here. I decided, yeah, I'm going to add the color to it. Add a little bit of color. So, I'm like, why your chicken looking like that? Why your mushroom looking like that? Y'all already be getting mad that I call it chicken. Why? Tell me that. Why y'all get mad because I call it chicken? I know it's a mushroom. So we're gonna go ahead and, I think I gotta get dirty, y'all. Cause I don't want too much extra batter in here. Like some extra batter is cute, but then it's not cute. You know what I'm saying? Y'all get what I'm saying? Like when it's sticking too much. So I don't want to stick too much. I'm gonna leave one hand wet, one hand dry. So I'm gonna take it in, I'm gonna toss it and move it to the side. Toss it in the flour, move it to the side. Toss it in the flour, move it to the side. And we're gonna do that until it's completely coated, okay? All right, so we got that nice and mixed around. I did go ahead and wash my hands a little bit. So once we want to make sure it's evenly coated all over, we're going to go ahead and drop it into our oil. Now, you can use whatever oil it is that you like. I know people ask me, like, Chef Joy, what type of oil you use? I use all types. You can use grapeseed, you can use vegetable. Coconut is going to give it a different type of flavor. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you insist, go right ahead. If you want to use avocado oil, you can use whatever it is that you want to do, okay? Most of the oils are vegan. As long as you're not frying it in no lard, you should be fine, okay? So we're going to take our pieces and we're going to drop it into our hot oil. And I always have, you want to make sure you have like some paper towels sitting on the side, you know, so you can get ready to get it out. But I'm going to let these cook for about 1.5 to 2 minutes until they are completely done. First little batch, they're all floating to the top. They are ready to go. You hear me? We said we need the rest to go. Call them mushroom nuggets, call them whatever you want to. And while we have our next batch in here, I'm going to go ahead and toast up my French bread. Now, when I cut my French bread, I do like to take the bottom out. So I have my French bread, and I like to take this bottom part in there, bottom part of the bread out, just to make more room for my sandwich, right? Because we're getting ready to load this up. And put a little bit of vegan butter on here, and you can put some seasoning if you choose, and put it in the oven on 400 degrees for about 5 to 7 minutes. All right, so you know I love a good sauce, so we got to make a sauce to go with our po' boy sandwich. So I'm going to go ahead and make my quick and easy remoulade. And the full details of this recipe is in my cookbook, baby. It's just vegan. That has all the measurements because you know your girl don't measure for real. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit of my vegan mayo. I'm going to take a little bit of Creole mustard and some cocktail sauce. And make sure when you grab a cocktail sauce, it doesn't have any egg in it. So we're going to add our cocktail sauce, and then we're also going to add in some hot sauce. Then I'm going to add in my amazing Cajun seasoning. You can get it at chefjoyousnest.com. And it is a phenomenal Cajun seasoning. It does not have a lot of salt in it as well. Then we're going to add in some lemon. And next we're going to add in our green onion. And if you want to take this up a notch, I do have it in my cookbook. There is a secret ingredient in there. Look, listen, I gotta say something for the cookbook, y'all. But there is an ingredient in there that's gonna kick this recipe up about 2 notches. So make sure you get that cookbook, baby. It's just vegan, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. All right. But this way is delicious as well. Now that we have our po' boy remoulade mixed well, we're gonna go ahead and build this easy and delicious sandwich. All right, so we're gonna build this amazing sandwich. So I have my tomatoes, I have my lettuce, I have some red onion, and I like to add pickles to mine. Everybody, you don't have to add pickles to it, so do not fight me. All right, but I like to add pickles to mine, all right? So, but one of the things I'm also gonna go ahead and do is season my vegetables. Like, we're gonna use my amazing Cajun. Season everything's seasoned over here. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and slather our, look at that remoulade. You see that? Get into this remoulade. Look. Oh, holy grail. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and add that on here. So you see why I said dig that bottom part out? Because you wanna make sure you get all this nice and just thick and filled with all the toppings, okay? You want this to be like life size, like just like a monstrosity. Well, not too bad, but you give it a whirl, you give it a whirl. Then we're gonna go ahead and add on our chicken or our oysters, but I'm gonna add in our fried mushrooms. All right, then we're gonna take some of our lettuce. I'm not a big fresh tomato person as far as like eating like whole slices of tomato. So I'm gonna like slice my tomato in half. Then I'm gonna go ahead and add on my red onion, just a couple pieces. And I'm an onion girl, but for this sandwich, I want the flavors of the sandwich. I don't want too much onion. Oh, and my pickles. Gotta get my pickles. A nickel for a pickle. So I'll take a couple of my dilly dilly dill pickles. Just a few. Just a few. Yeah, we ain't gonna overpower it. So we're gonna put the top on it just like that. And baby, we have a po' boy sandwich. You know, we have my Nola po' boy sandwich. Look at that. Yes. Let's get into it. So let's go ahead and cut into this. Like I'm covered in flour. You know, that's how you know when somebody can cook. You know what I'm saying? Because they ain't worried about being cute. They all flour covered, you know. So we're going to go ahead and cut into this delicious sandwich. Gotta hold it together, baby. Ooh, ooh, maybe toasted a little too long, but it's okay. Oh, girl. Oh, I'm about to feel out. Listen. This is insane. This is insane. Okay? I don't know what you're doing still looking at this camera. You need to run to the store and make this tonight. And the day after. And the day after that. And share with everybody you know. Because, baby, I know y'all hear me say this is easily going to be your next favorite recipe. What? What? If you are not subscribed to this channel, what are you doing? Like, why are you still here? I'll see you next time. Don't say what is vegan. It's the bomb. Try it. Try it. Go try it.